Hey everyone, so we are now moving on from long division to synthetic division. So synthetic division is just another way of dividing, but it's only in very specific circumstances. So you still need to know long division for certain problems. I struggled a little bit with this problem, so it's kind of written a little weird. So it's 2x cubed minus 7x squared minus 17x plus 66, and we are dividing by x plus 3. So for some review of long division, go through and do that problem. So we take our leading term. I get 2x squared, goes up top. Distribute. 2x cubed plus 6x squared. Change the sign to subtract. Negative 13x squared minus 17x plus 66. Divide leading term by that x. Minus 13x, distribute. Negative 13x squared minus 39x. Change the sign to subtract. 22x plus 66. 22x divided by x is 22. Distribute. 22x plus 66. Subtract, and we get 0. So that is our answer. So now if you look at these, when we divide by the x, right, notice that the coefficient, it goes 3, the exponents, 3, 2, 1, nothing, right? And then we end up with 2, 1, nothing up top. So that pattern is really, really helpful. This 3, 2, 1, no term. When we divide x cubed by x, we get an x squared. X squared divided by x gives us an x to the first. X divided by x gives us a 1. So if you think about that, we really don't need the x's. We can do this a little faster and easier without having all the x's in the problem. Okay, so I'm going to write out, put your pencil down, just watch this. I'll tell you when to write it. So what we're going to do is we're going to write down all the coefficients. So I've got 2, negative 7, negative 17, and 66. And I'm going to do this kind of upside down division symbol. On the outside, I'm going to get rid of this x, and I'm just going to write, I'm going to switch the sign, minus 3. Now we switch the sign because what this is going to do is work our subtraction into the problem. Remember, we divide, multiply, subtract. Divide, multiply, subtract. So the subtraction is already going to be in the problem, okay? So what we do, we start by bringing the 2 down, and then we're going to multiply. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6, and I'm just going to write it right there. Right? So we're going to always multiply by the outside number. So negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Then I'm going to combine down. Multiply. Negative 3 times negative 13 is 39. Combine down. Negative 3 times 22 is negative 66. Combine down. This last one is our remainder, right? That's our remainder. So in this case, we don't have a remainder, right? So this is our answer, but notice we have to put x's back in the problem. We started with x cubed and divided. Remember, everything's getting divided by x. So that x cubed goes down and becomes what? X squared. So our final answer is that 2 is the first term, 2x squared minus 13x plus 22. All right, now pause and write down the problem. All right, so I want you to do this one along with me. So let's start by writing out our coefficients. So x to the 4th, that's a 1, negative 6, negative 21, 31, and 72. Upside down division, and then what goes on the outside? A positive 8. Remember, we're changing the sign. That's working our subtraction into the problem. We always start by bringing our leading term down, so 1. 8 times 1 is 8. We are not changing the sign, we're just combining down. 2. 2 times 8 is 16. Combine down, it gives us a negative 5. 8 times a negative 5 is negative 40. That gives us a negative 9. 8 times negative 9 is negative 72. That gives us a 0. And remember, that's our remainder. So this one has no remainder. So these are our coefficients. So now we have to write our final answer. So 1x to the what? 1x to the... Remember, we're going down by 1 because we're dividing, right? X to the 4th divided by x is x cubed. And then going down by 1, 2x squared minus 5x minus 9. And that's the answer. You don't have to put the 1 if you don't want. We are done. Okay, write down the coefficients for this one. This one's a little harder because what do you notice? We have something missing. You have to put place that 0 in. Remember I talked about that? To make things easier, we can't leave that off. If you leave it off, you're gonna get the wrong answer. So our coefficients are 1, negative 7, 0, 20. And then what goes on the outside? A 2. Good. So I want you to pause and try this problem on your own. All right, so bring my 1 down. 2 times 1 is 2. Combine down. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Combine down. Negative 20. Combine down. Again, no remainder for that one. We're going from x cubed down to x squared, so we get 1x squared minus 5x minus 10. Done. All right, now we're going to get a little harder. This one, because it has a coefficient in front of the x, it's going to make this one a little different. So write out your coefficients. So we have our 6, 23, 42, and 55. Instead, we're not going to do negative 5. Basically, what we're going to think about is if I set this equal to 0, what do I get? Solve for x. 2x equals negative 5. Divide by 2. So negative 5 over 2, that's my outside number. Remember when you multiply by a fraction, you multiply the top and combine down, right? So here's how I'm going to do it. Bring my 6 down. So if you want on the side, if you have trouble, negative 5 over 2 times 6. That's negative 30 over 2. The 5 and the 6 multiply, and then the bottom ends up dividing. So we get negative 15. Combine down. So that's 8. So 8 times negative 5 over 2. The 8 times 5 is negative 40 over 2 is negative 20. Combine down. Negative 5 times 22 is 110. Divided by 2, negative 110, is negative 55. So we get 6x squared plus 8x plus 22. This is actually wrong, though. Can anyone see why this is wrong? If we were doing long division, what would the first thing we do? What's the first thing we do? We take our leading term, 6x cubed, divided by this term, 2x. What does that give us? 3x squared. So there's actually an extra 2 in this problem. Because of this 2 in front of the x, we're going to have to divide the entire thing by 2. So our answer is actually 3x squared plus 4x plus 11. So after you do your division, you then have to divide by that coefficient. All right, so I want you to pause and try this one on your own. So we've got 3, -2, 15, -10, -27, 18. And our outside number is 2/3. Remember to set this equal to 0. The 2 goes over to the other side, and then you divide by 3. And you can use a calculator. If you want to do in the calculator 2/3 times 3, go for it. Another way to do that is 2/3 times 3. That's really 3/1. The 3's cancel, and you get 2. Or you can do 2/3 times 3. That's 6/3, which is 2. So whatever makes more sense to you in your head. All right, so this is a 2. Ooh, what happens? 0. So anything times 0 is 0. Bring it down. 2/3 times 15 is 10. Uh-oh, another 0. 0. Bring down that -27. And -18. So we have a lot of zeros in that one. Okay, so now this is a little tricky. Right? So we started with an x to the 5th, so now we're down to x to the 4th. 0x cubed. 15x squared. So all the zeros are going to go away. I'm going to cross this off. And then I have to divide by something. What are we dividing by? The coefficient of the x, so 3. So we get x to the 4th plus 5x squared minus 9. And that is our final answer. All right. Pause and try it on your own. So we've got 1, -3. Uh-oh. We're missing our x cubed. So after the -3, we need to put a 0, 21, 9, and then -4. And then we have our -2 on the outside. Bring down my 1. -2 times 1 is -2. Combines down to -5. -2 times -5 is 10. Combine down. -2 times 10, -20. Combine down to get a 1. -2 times 1 is -2. That gives us a 7. 7 times -2 is -14, which gives us a -18. So how is this one different? We have a remainder. All right, so our answer, 1, we're going from x to the 5th. Right, so x to the 5th is going to go down. X to the 5th, I wrote it, becomes an x to the 4th. So 1x to the 4th minus 5x cubed plus 10x squared plus x plus 7. And then how do you do a remainder? Plus -18 over x plus 2. Or you could put minus 18 over x plus 2. It's up to you. Okay, this is the same exact problem we just did. So now grab your calculator, and I want you to plug in -2. What do you get? F of -2, -2 to the 5th, 3 times -2 to the 4th, plus 21 times -2 squared, 9 times -2 minus 4. What do you get? I got -18. What do you notice? Compare this to the last problem. That was the remainder. So when we did synthetic division and put that -2 on the outside, the remainder is what you get when you plug in. So if you ever have a hard problem that you need to plug in for and the numbers are really big, you don't have a calculator, you know, you're on the SAT or something, or your phone died, you don't have a calculator available to you. That's a way to do it. If you do synthetic division, it will give you, the remainder will be the answer, okay? So using that idea, try this one. Do synthetic division to find f of -3. So our -3 goes on the outside. Notice that this and this are the same, right? Because we have to just switch that sign. 1, 9, 14, 37. Bring our 1 down. -3 times 1 is -3. 6. -3 times 6, -18. Combines to -4. And 12 gives us 49. So what is f of -3? 49. And that is the answer. And that's it. That's synthetic division. All right, I will see you later. Have a great day.